Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. Today is, I believe, June 3rd or 4th, 2017, here in Woodbury, Minnesota. It's a Sunday. Most people are going to church. I just got through taking my dog for a walk, make her feel good on this Sunday morning, and I've had constant thoughts about you on my mind, and couldn't cut. It was very, very hard just staying away. Now I'm here, ready to share it with you. You know, by my estimate, and this is my estimate, I'm living on my estimate now. And I'm sharing what I share with you based upon my estimate. And that is, one main thing is that there are two gods. There is a God of love. There is a God of hate. There's a God of good. And there's a God of evil. Now, what I'm actually saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. That there are two extremes. And each one of them represented by its God. Now, the God of love, is it the same as the God of hate? Possibly. If the equation has been set in such a way that you, the people, make the choice, that you, the people, determine which way you want to be. If both are put before you, based upon the consequences of the actions that you have taken, tells you which way you're going, and that choice is always yours, then is it conceivable that the God of the opposite of love, the God the opposite of good, is the same? Just there to give you your heart's desire. Because there are those of you who worship evil. There are those of you who can't wait to come up with a new idea that evil can expand on. Now, should you be forced to do good when there is a position even for you? So, what does that say about my belief about two gods? Mine is for this purpose. The God of love will never tell you to go kill. The God of hate will. That's what's coming from that end. The God of love will never have you put bombs on yourself to destroy yourself and others in the name of God, except the God of hate. No one who is of the God of love ever believes that that's God of love speaking. And so what are you actually doing? You are representing the God that you know, the God that you believe in. And perhaps there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're being true to yourself. But the truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, as I have seen it and as I bring it to you, is this, is that this is hell. There are no in-betweens. There's heaven and there's hell. There's no in-between. Why brought us here, I have no idea. But we are here, and we come here in an environment, at least I did, that was not representative of heaven. Now, I can agree that it appears that one day, even though so much suffering and other kinds of things were going on, that it was better than it is today, but it is not true. This is just a change of time, but the same persecution, the same evilness that existed thousands of years ago is the same one that exists today. And the change keeps turning and turning and turning, and it will always be that way until the people wake up. And the people cannot wake up after the truth. And the people cannot receive the truth if they do not have a desire to know the truth. And everything that's been brought down on people in every society on earth is negativism. Your problems want to be solved by creating more of the same problem that you're trying to dissolve, because you don't know the truth. Anybody amongst you who claims to be superior in truth, who's going along with the things that are experienced every day, are jiving. But I want to say one thing about those who do amongst Americans and people of the world, who have compassion for others, who want to see the world treated with respect. It is that spirit that is in them that keeps America and keeps the world surviving. It is their faith that keeps these societies surviving. But even with this, they are just in a position of going from one place or the other. They are emerging or demerging. They are coming from a lack of any truth, growing based upon their true heart to know the truth, to want to know the truth. And they're growing, and they represent a part of the force that maintains these systems. Or they could have had strong faith, but now it's being diminished. And they perhaps are at the same state where we haven't allowed ourselves to sink just yet. But without these two existing, this nation and this earth would have fallen. But even this is not sufficient enough, because the only thing it does is keeps the wheels turning. It keeps the wheels turning. And the good thing about keeping the wheels turning is that you still have chance. You still have opportunity. Opportunity to do what? To change your mind. And why would you want to change your mind? Because you see so much that brings so much pain to you. And for some strange reason, it changes you from within and make you want to see things better. Make you start searching. Make you start trying to find out a way. Make you start believing in something outside of yourselves, because you see that man seems to be absent of the ability or the concern. And so you must go outside of the box. Go outside where you don't know. But it's spiritual because it's out there. And you know it's out there because you're searching out there. You're searching out there because you know it's not in here. But what you'll find out there is the answer. But you will inevitably find that that answer will redirect itself to you, to give you the knowledge of the truth, to let you know that you become the instrument whereby any light in this darkness will be known. And as you are effective in your wattage, and the wattage grows and grows and grows, that's the hope. But it's not the promise. It is the desire. But it's no good unless you and I give it life. So what am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? I'm saying to you this. There's heaven and there's hell. To be in hell means to be where crime and violence, terrorism, poverty, all of these kinds, of things happen. This society that we live in really experiences so much negative. There are people in this world who care nothing about life. There are people in this world in power and wealth who not only molest little kids, but eat them or drink their blood for whatever reason that they think is sufficient to them. It doesn't matter how sick it might make you to know that these things happen. They happen because of these people who believe that it's okay. And they didn't just happen to believe that this was okay. This is a learned. When people deny the realities of life because they have benefited at the suffering and they have stayed away from it, they don't know what's going on out there except the propaganda that they received, that you brought it on yourselves. They're never told that you have been exploited. They are never told the truth. And you spend your life experience, so you think it's supposed to be that way. Nobody's telling you that mankind didn't make this world. Nobody's telling you that there's a God that made an earth that has within it, on it, and above it, whether it's seen or unseen, the capacity to avail to human experience whatever it desires to meet the needs, the wants of that required for mankind to produce his dreams. Set up in such a magnificent way. And all of that can happen without fail. Power that was able to create men, women, the process to create more of the kind. With the abilities to see, to observe, to feel, to taste, all of the senses that, and then you're exercising the will within to extract from that without. For the benefit of what? Participating in the process of meeting all of those survival needs that are common amongst human beings, first amongst all things, most priority, that they all can be happy. And by so doing, it teaches them how to exercise the other gifts in transportation and other areas of technology that takes us to places that perhaps those of us who want to dig a ditch but enjoy the magnificence of life, or those who want to guide the button that takes us to many worlds. It's all for us. Why? Because we have learned the truth. This is about God, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. And I'm getting off because I can't get pissed off with you, because I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm telling you some stuff that I would really hope that some of you would catch on to it. To catch on to it means you had to be about it anyway. And that maybe something inside of you would motivate you to speed up in your area of expertise or location to bring these things about. This is what I would hope. But the truth of the matter, if I look at the negligence of these things happening, I have to go no further than myself. Because how is it that I can say to you, do this, if I myself don't do it? Now, I'll explain that to you. In the past, I've been to jail, I've been to prison, I've violated the state's rules, whether they were local but it was nothing that I was ashamed of. In other words, I look at a world and I know that I'm living in, so the devil can't point a finger at me. A world going straight to hell and it can't point a finger at me. I know you're going. You might not know it, but I know it. And I'll tell you. And I'll tell you why I do what I do. In other words, some say there's no shame in my game when I know what I'm dealing with. So, I've done that. That didn't draw any of you. My hope has been that as I continue, that as the world keeps sinking and sinking to the abyss, that perhaps we could wake up together and we can make the decision to change. And the world could be like, as it is in heaven, so on earth. And then we could all share in that together. That's my hope. And this is why things that you yourselves have heard me ask you to do, I don't do. Like waiting. And perhaps you've been waiting. I have to admit that that solves nothing. I've learned that. So it is not about my being able to preach to you. My first sermon, and every sermon, before it goes out to anybody else, should begin with me. And if I say to you, do anything, you should be able to come behind me later on to see the evidence that I did it myself. And if I can't prove that, if I can't walk that talk, then I'm nothing but a $2 watch hypocrite. So, I'm letting you off the hook. What I've told you, I've shared the best of my ability. I've shared with you what I've been given. But I'm not holding it against us. Now, it calls for walking the talk. Until next time, if there is. Oh, let me conclude this way. That other part of sticking to the walk is that if the light doesn't shine and the community changes and you're real, get killed. Evil does not want you around. If evil can't corrupt you, like you hear the expression, you can buy anybody. Those who got money say you can buy anybody. Just, I don't care what they say. Give them the money. Right now, the nations of the world are being controlled by money. And the people who control the money make the policies of the world. That's a fact.